going through the envelope game scores, moving up the right intensity.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Don't get me wrong. Typically we do, and every once in a while you sputter, you address it, and you move on. And so we've addressed some things. The practice was outstanding today, and the effort from the players and the team. So play more, get after it.
It appeared from your practice pairings that you didn't think the issue the other night was pairings. It was larger than that, so you want to go back to what you had seen the last few games.
Yeah, I mean, there's been. I think it's always going to move a little bit, just based on having the extra righty in there, and so. We talked about moving things around, but starting with Key and Foxy, they've been a pretty good pair. Just their numbers and what they do on the ice, and I think the other night is just a little bit more of a reflection. Is just you said just not being a good one for us. So we need to bounce back and right that. But in a bigger picture, they've been pretty good, and so. I think that the pairs have the group that was together. They've had some minutes together and they've done a pretty good job. But I wouldn't. I'd never take out a pen and write anything in permanent marker or anything like that. It always moves. I do like stability. I think it's been pretty stable here, with regard to just throwing it into a blender. But there's always room for movement.
So jumping off that. Aaron and Lafreniere have been together now for 90 straight games, and that line obviously with Trocheck has been a standard for you. If you ever took a look at switching it, would that be a last resort thing for you, or maybe sometimes it might be necessary to jumpstart other things?
That's dealing with a hypothetical down the road that I'm not sure I have the answer for. Right now I have not, as you know, and I've left it alone because even now there's always things that you're talking about, players or lines, about where they can be better. But one thing that line has produced even this year is consistent offense. And so it was a tough night the other night for everybody. They're in that mix, but they've been an elite line in the league now for however many games that you said, and so I think that stays for now, and you just leave that alone. Like your question hasn't crossed my mind.
The minutes that Phil's line has been getting, I don't know if it's been steadily going up or steadily up. Do you go into a game feeling confident with them just based on the way that they play, that they can be your top 5-on-4, one of the top 2 5-on-5 lines in terms of minutes, or does it kind of go by feel how everybody's looking?
It goes, for me, it goes by feel sometimes on what I see, but there's a consistency level with that. If somebody just had a tough game the other night, they're not necessarily going to lose minutes. If they've been really good and they had a tough game, I think there's always a chance to bounce back and get back on track. That line has been consistently good almost every game. And they've done a good job, and so oftentimes you reward them with a few more shifts, a few more minutes. I haven't been disappointed with the way they played. They've produced 5-on-5. They've done a good job. They're big, they're strong, they're playing fast, they're putting more pucks in the offensive zone than they are in the defensive zone. So they've been a productive line for us.
With the Kreider line, what do you like so far from them? And then on the other hand, what are some aspects that you want them to improve on?
I think it changes from game to game. Again, last game's kind of tough. I thought the game before in Anaheim, they were against Anaheim. They were good. They were a real effective line. So I think just finding that consistency with that line to game after game after game, where it's 9 out of 10, where you're really happy with it. And so that probably can be said for a lot of people or a lot of different games. But I think just the consistency. I know that they're capable players. They're good players, and I feel like we could still be at our best if we just roll over the boards and you know, we can maximize everybody. But sometimes we're chasing games, and the makeup of the amount of usage, it changes a little bit.
With the third defense pair, with, I guess, Victor and Zach, has one of those two guys kind of earned that job, or are you still, you know, platooning them?
No, I mean, we're still looking at it. I mean, there's going to be decisions. As long as you have extra players, there's going to be decisions, and so we're still looking at both of them. They're both good young players.